Yeah. What's up, Cowboy Nation? It's your boy G from Jersey, and
It's your boy G in the ATL, baby.
with the Nothing But a G Thing podcast. G, G. Go ahead, G. Get yours off, G. Let them know, G.
I tried to tell him. I tried to tell him. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear it, man. Oh my God.
Dallas Cowboy Nation. What a tremendous victory yesterday as our Dallas Cowboys come back from 21 points down 21 nothing early in the second quarter, and they don't give up another point for the rest of the way. G, we end up winning the game 24-21. G,
We went on a 24-0 run. Just like they
man,
went on a 21-0 run in the first. We went on a 24-0 run from the second all the way to the end, man.
I tell you what, G, the way that this Cowboys team resurrected itself after digging themselves in a hole early on in this game, right? The
Yeah.
penalties,
Yeah.
the fumbles, the
Ooh.
mistakes, and somehow, some way, they maintain the focus that we haven't seen in a very long time in Dallas. The
Mm.
ability to say we are still in it because there are still 2.5 quarters to go. And that focus, we're going to talk about a play in a little bit that to me, if the Dallas Cowboys make the postseason, this is going to be one of the top three plays in Dallas Cowboys history.
I can't wait to hear this one. Okay. Okay.
But G, you know, I called it the resurrection,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the adversity that Dallas has had for the last 3 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And for you to be down 21 points to your hated division rival at home right away, but
Mm-hmm.
then to be able to maintain the focus and the will to pull out a win, G. To me, that's a resurrection to me, G. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what you
Mm-hmm.
think, G.
Right. Like you said, man, we was dead in the water. We looked dead in the water. And any other Cowboys team under any other leadership as a head coach, it would have been over. It would have been over. Once the Cowboys get punched, we don't normally punch back. We normally just sit there and get beat a punching bag. We saw something very, very different in this quarterback, um, this team altogether. Like you said, they resurrected themselves from the dead, man, in this game, and came out swinging. They didn't get down on themselves. They didn't beat themselves up. Although we will jump into one player, how I felt is beating himself up way too much,
Yeah.
and it's causing him to not be the
Yeah,
player that he
yeah.
is.
Me and you got to talk about that,
Yeah,
G.
we gotta
Because
talk about that. We gotta talk about this
I
player.
understand. I understand you being big brother, but we got to talk about that,
We
man.
got to talk about that. But yeah, so yeah, the boys did get up off the ground, man. Took that beating early, but never looked down. If you look at Dak Prescott on the sideline, he never went to the sideline with his head down. He stayed engaged into the game. He stayed high energy, and then the pickup. And we're gonna, you probably y'all are gonna hear us say this from probably for throughout this season and next season and the season on. Quinnen Williams
Oh,
is a leader amongst all leaders on that team. And we know Dak's the leader of that offense, but Quinnen Williams has come in and taken over leadership role for that defense. And if you listen to some of the interviews after the game, Sam Williams said when he went in the locker room at halftime, Quinnen Williams went in like, "This we built for this. This is
wow,
what we came here for.
wow.
Now let's take control of it." And Wanye Thomas, he came out and spoke about it as well. Like he said, he got chills. He was ready to go out there and play. He forgot he didn't have no helmet on or no pads. He forgot he was out. That's what Quinnen Williams brings to this team, and that's the change that has happened over the last 2 and 3 weeks, and along with them playing for their brother, man, and
And G, real
in
quick,
Neyland.
man. Um, you know, the players were echoing that sentiment after Quinnen went in there at halftime, right?
Mm-hmm.
And said what he had to say.
Mm-hmm.
And you knocked the nail on the head when you said the dude is a leader, right? Because think about it. His criticism has been that he's always been on bad Jets football teams,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a testament of who he is and what he brings to the table and the elite level defensive tackle and football player that he is. But
Correct.
above everything, the leadership that he brings, considering that you're not used to winning from where you just came from, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I mentioned it when we made the trade. I said he immediately becomes your best football player on the defensive side. Like there
Mm-hmm.
was no questions, right? You didn't have somebody to say, okay, Quentin Williams and this player can play off of each other. Quentin Williams immediately walked into the Dallas Cowboys locker room and you said, that is the best player on the defensive side of the football, to the point where, a couple of weeks ago, we were questioning whether or not Osa Digizua got too much money, right? We were questioning whether or not Kenny Clark, that trade was a massive mistake, right?
Correct.
And now, after two games, two bodies of work, right? Two film, because it's on film. The film don't lie,
Right.
folks. And trust me, when you watch football games. Don't just watch certain players, but watch everybody, okay?
Mm-hmm.
G was just telling me before we came on that he's watching the offensive line. He's watching Tyler Booker, he's watching Tyler Steele and Terrence Steele, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you need to do as a football fan so that you
Mm-hmm.
can understand how everything works and how everybody feeds off of each other, right? The
Mm-hmm.
Dallas Cowboys offense the last 2 weeks is not going to surmount a comeback the way that they did yesterday if the offensive line ain't ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
If the offensive line isn't blocking that Philadelphia Eagles defensive line, those
Mm-hmm.
defensive tackles yesterday, there's no chance that Dak Prescott is going to have the opportunity to feed George Pickens, to
Mm-hmm.
find CeeDee Lamb when he needed to, Cavante Turpin, right? What do you
Mm-hmm.
think, G?
No, I agree with you 100%. And the amount of reps that Booker had to go up against one of the best D tackles in the league, man. From what I've seen so thus far, man, he did it. He did his part. He got whooped a couple times, but that's what an elite quarterback helps you out. Like you're
He's a
not all.
rookie.
Yeah, he's a rook. He's a rook, but you got an elite, and then I'm gonna keep calling Dak an elite quarterback back there who's going to help out his young rook. That's going to help him look good. So yeah, definitely, man. The trenches is where we played well. Not against a really good defense. That people forget that. This you don't score on the Eagles. They've been holding teams to 10 points, 7 points.
Green Bay,
Green, come on. We just talked about it last. Yeah,
Detroit,
yeah, yeah,
right? So
yeah.
7 points to Green Bay, and what was it? 9 points to
9 points to Detroit.
Detroit,
Yeah.
and that's stuff that you don't see because
Mm-hmm.
those teams are very good on defense too, meaning that they're trying to get their offense back on the field as well to give them as
Mm-hmm.
many opportunities, man.
Yeah.
But 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 gee, what Quentin Williams has done to the defensive side is everything that Jerry Jones envisioned in the trade. And I mentioned it a little while ago on Twitter. I said, folks, let's not lose sight of the fact that Jerry Jones initially wanted Quentin Williams for Micah Parsons from the Jets, but the Jets didn't
Declined
have
it.
the multiple first round picks to send the Cowboys in return,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jerry had this envisioned already. Now, granted, we probably wouldn't have had Kenny Clark if right to
Mm-hmm.
tag
Right.
along with Quentin
Right.
Williams, but this is the player that he wanted from the start when he started envisioning trading Micah.
100%. 100%. And it's paying its dividends early and often. And I'm gonna give a big shout out to the Players Lounge on the Cowboys podcast, Dallas Cowboys podcast, and I do want to shout them out because Barry Church, who I love Barry, but Barry is one of the ones who was like, "Hey man, Quentin Williams coming in, he's not immediately going to take the leadership role. There is no way that anybody in that locker room is going to listen to him because he hasn't done anything in Dallas. Whatever he's done in New York had nothing to do with the people here in Dallas, is what he was saying. And Demontre and all them and Anthony Dorsett was like, "What are you talking about, man? There is no way that this guy who had this body of work will not come in here and demand the leadership role and be the leader of this defense, and people not listening to him because they know who he is. This is a dog." And I didn't understand Barry in that process of thinking that, but I think a lot of Cowboys, I think that's how they ran inside the you we wonder why we struggle to be successful a lot, because that's how Cowboy players at one time felt inside that locker room. I think we're seeing a change in that now though.
They needed him. They
They-
needed they needed a leader. They needed a
yeah.
leader on that side of the ball, right? When you
Hmm.
think about it, right after the Micah trade, right? Who were your longest tenured players on the defensive side of the football, and what positions did they play, right? You had
Hmm.
Donovan Wilson, a safety, right? You had Malik Hooker, a safety,
Hmm.
and then you look around the room and you're like, okay,
Diggs.
what do
Right.
we have up front, right? Trayvon Diggs, right? Who we know.
Hmm.
Listen, and I wish Trayvon Diggs nothing but the best, right? I want
Hmm.
Trayvon Diggs to be back this week, next week against Detroit, and for him to play the best football of his career, because I think that this was a learning lesson for both sides, right? For the
Hmm.
Diggs camp and for the Cowboys, right?
Hmm.
But ultimately, I don't want these young men to fail, because I understand that there is long life after football, right? And
Correct.
if we didn't learn anything from the Marshawn Nealon situation, is that we don't want to throw dirt on people, right? And
Hmm.
then have a stockpile, because they're human beings. These players, they're
Hmm.
human beings. But I want Diggs to come back, right? But Diggs, going back to what we were talking about, Diggs necessarily probably wasn't the leader that the
Hmm.
Cowboys needed in the locker room, and there was a void.
Right.
There was a
Right.
void. I remember a
Definitely.
situation. I don't know if you remember it, G. Maybe 5, 6 years ago, when the Cowboys weren't good. We were struggling. We were about 500 and they made a trade for Michael Bennett from
Hmm.
Seattle. And
Hmm.
Michael Bennett came in, and the first week that he was there, Michael Bennett was in the middle of the huddle before the game,
Right.
and he was giving a speech, and
Hmm.
all of the analysts were saying, "How can the Cowboys let Michael Bennett
Hmm.
give the pregame speech?" And but it was to the point they had no defensive leader then either.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
sometimes these guys, when they come in, Michael Bennett came in from Seattle, he
Hmm.
had 10 dogs around him on defense. And
Right.
then he comes to Dallas and he has no dogs around him. And
Right.
he's like, I'm the biggest dog in here. Let me go
Right.
out. I got to step up and be the leader. And
Right.
at the time, I looked at it and I said, yeah, we don't have a defensive leader. That's why Michael Bennett is doing that.
That's why he's doing it. And then nobody appreciated it either.
Yep.
And they didn't get exactly what he was doing because he was trying to give them game.
Yeah.
But the pride in those defensive players in that locker room would not accept his leadership. And I think that goes to what Barry Church was saying. Well, a lot of our players are still like that. But I feel like we have a change. And I think it comes from the top though. It comes from the top. And it
Oh,
comes the the
The
Jones
Jones made a change that,
the Jones made a change and Schottenheimer. Like, you know, hey man, I know y'all picked that guy number one. Hope he can find another spot somewhere else in Mozzie Smith. I, you
wow,
know, and I
good point.
know we brought this guy in a trade, Kyrie Elam.
But he ain't working.
It ain't working. Let's move on. I don't care what his status was when he came in. All that, are you performing?
Jaden
And so
Blue.
Jaden Blue, Jaden Blue. Everybody had high hopes for him. If you're not going to perform, then you're not going to play.
Wow.
And if I got somebody else that can take that spot, I can cut you.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, so that I think that those changes allow people now, like you said, I might have to get on my stuff, dog. I might have to listen to what this guy's saying now because my job might be in jeopardy. And I
Just
think
play
Trey,
football.
just play
Just play
football.
football.
That you are good at what you're doing because you're at their position. So all you gotta do is play football. But Trayvon Diggs, like you said, man, I want him to come back and be the Trayvon that I know he can be on the field. He's a dog on the field, man. If just let him just play. Put all that other stuff to the side. Put your pride to the side. You know your best friend's gone. Who cares? You got a brotherhood inside this locker room that loves you. Love them back, man. It wasn't all
And
about Micah.
and you know what, 2G, another thing that another something else that popped into my head was that there's no more players that have their own brands anymore on the defensive side, right?
Right.
And that's important. A lot of fans don't think about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like these players, they're all their own individual businesses,
Right.
right? They're their
Right.
own entities, and it's in their best it's for their best for them to build their own brands so that they can be marketable outside of on the field and off the field, right? And
Mm-hmm.
when you look at the Cowboys for the last 2 or 3 years, they had guys that had their own brand on the defensive side. D
Mm-hmm.
Law, Michael
Mm-hmm.
Parsons,
Mm-hmm.
Trayvon Diggs. Those
Mm-hmm.
guys were marketable outside of the football field.
Right.
Now you don't have a single guy on the defensive side
Mm-hmm.
that has their own brand and
Right.
that is worrying about my brand off of the football field. You don't
Right.
have that right now, G. You
Right.
just have guys that literally, what is my assignment? What do
Mm-hmm.
I have to do? I have to be put in position and let me make a play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you think. What are your thoughts
No,
on that?
you hitting the nail on the head, and that is all about football, and it's funny like when these players go to other organizations, that's the first thing they claim. It's all about football when I come here, but if you notice, a lot of time it's you all that are doing that outside stuff. so you know, so yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. Everybody
It's a
is
different
is
wave.
locked
It's a
in.
different wave
It's,
this year, man.
it's definitely a different wave, man, and and people when you're a cowboy, you don't really have to do all this branding stuff.
It's easy.
It's easy for you. They're gonna give it to you. They're gonna hand it to you, dog. You don't have to go out there and make it yourself.
Mm.
That's the great thing about the Joneses, what they've done for the Cowboys players is there's always going to be other revenue that you're going to be able to make. You don't have to go out there and find it yourself.
We
So.
know a guy who's mentioned it. He mentions it all the time. Jesse
Mm-hmm.
Holly.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Holly says, I got autograph signings, I got appearances that I just because I was a Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
And that's what I always say. I can't imagine the day that the Dallas Cowboys finally put it together and they go on a run and they make it to the Super Bowl again
Mm-hmm.
because the amount of marketing that is going to be available for these young men now
Right.
is going to be something they don't even they can't compare it to anything because
Mm-hmm.
it's the Dallas Cowboys one and two. Now the Dallas Cowboys are in the Super Bowl, right? The
Mm-hmm.
money is going to be ridiculous. But G, it's time to have some fun, dog.
Let's
It's
get it.
time to have some fun,
Let's
dog.
get
Let's
it.
talk
Let's
about
get.
this game yesterday,
Let's go.
GG.
Yes, sir.
What?
Yes, sir.
What? G? Tell me what's on your chest, G. Get it off your chest, G.
Man, a run. And this is the first time this year that we've had back to back wins, and we didn't beat the Raiders like they say it's just the Raiders. We just beat a 8-2 Philadelphia Eagles team who was at the top of
Yes,
the
sir.
NFC, and we beat them coming back from 21 down. So I'm ecstatic. I am excited about where we are going. I feel
Mhm.
like we're building something, and I feel like we're going somewhere with this thing. Of course, we got another game coming up in a couple of days that we will jump into tomorrow, but I'm feeling good, man. I victory Monday is always good, and it's even sweeter when you beat up on the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Uh,
Gee, they right away, the Eagles, they were flying on all cylinders, man. They were playing very, very good defense in that first half, right? They lights out, right?
mm-hmm,
The Cowboys scored a touchdown late in the second quarter, but Jalen Hurts actually had a decent game, right? And listen, you call him what you want to call him. I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, right? A
mm-hmm,
lot of folks they criticize the young man, but
mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts, literally all he's done since he's come into the NFL is win, folks. All right, he's been
Well,
to two Super Bowls, he's
yeah.
won one. And if you look at his numbers yesterday, 27 for 39 for 289 with a touchdown. Okay, when you look at the running game, this is where the Cowboys defensive football we dominated. We only gave up 63 yards on the ground, 22 yards for all world running back Saquon Barkley. Hey G, talk to me about the Cowboys defense against this running game from the Eagles, who two dynamic guys when you look at Barkley and when you look at Hurts, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
Hurts would get you, and he did on a couple of plays for first downs. Talk to me,
Right.
G.
So exactly what you said. The Cowboys knew this is where it starts at. You know, the pass is okay, but where you stop the Eagles is stopping Saquon Barkley, and we did a good job of that in the first game. This first game, though, Jalen Hurts got the best of us. I
Two
think we
running
talked about
touchdowns.
this.
Yep.
That's right. We talked about that on the last show. If y'all haven't checked it out, go to the last show and listen to the G's talk, man.
Give us a
But
follow, folks. Give us a follow, please. Give us a follow and leave in the comments your criticism, please, because it's only going to help us get better.
absolutely. So what they did, man, they strung out um, Jalen Hurts, man. They anytime he pulled that ball, they had somebody on his tail, either coming from the backside or coming from in front. Not trying to tackle him, but just trying to make sure he goes outwards. And so if you watch him, he never really got a chance to run upfield. Every run play that he had, he was going sideline. He was running towards the sideline, and that was a big reason why 63 yards is all they had. And J, Overshown being in the game was huge with that. Donovan Wilson playing in the box, he did a great job of not biting on the fake handoffs and all that stuff. The rollouts, he was there waiting on them. Assignment football is what these guys played and did a excellent job of it in that second half and second quarter and second half going forward, man. A great job by them. A great job by Eberflus, who we've been hard on. Eberflus, man, did a great job. Logan Wilson, I would like to see a little more still.
He's got
I
to play
think
more.
he got
He's
to
got to
play
play
more,
more.
man. He still got to play more. But what we have is doing the job well, man. So,
But G, let me ask you one question before we get off of this Eagles running against the Cowboys defense or lack thereof, right? Um, I heard mentioned earlier, we just mentioned that we want to see Logan Wilson play more, right? But I'm gonna ask you this question: do you think that there's a possibility that the Marvian Overshown is raising Kenneth Murray's game?
absolutely. Absolutely. If you are a dog, if you are a player who cares, and you see they are bringing other people in to try to take your spot, you have to elevate your game. And so I would hope it is happening. And from what I have been seeing and noticing, he is playing better. He is
Yeah.
he's not out there playing hero ball. He's actually staying in where his position. He's staying in his spot. And that could be maybe he's out understanding it a little more. Maybe Logan Wilson is actually helping him out,
Mhm.
understanding where he should be at.
Mhm.
So yeah, I agree. I think it's DeMar Overshown, and I think it's Logan Wilson as well.
Because when you look at the linebacker snap counts, Logan Wilson was fourth for the linebackers, right? But then what I'm thinking is strategically, right? Look at what Eberflus did yesterday. He had guys that he had his fastest linebackers playing, and he knew that he needed them because he knew that he would be in a dogfight against Saquon Barkley and against Jalen Hurts. And if he had slow linebackers out there, like we had week one, right, with Jack Sanborn, he couldn't. It was a mismatch with for Jack Sanborn trying to chase Jalen Hurts all game, right? That's why Hurts gashed us. But now you have Kenneth Murray, who is the best looking dude coming off of the bus every single game. But Kenneth
Absolutely.
Murray is an athlete. He's fast. He can move. And now you have DeMarvin Overshown, who's also a super athlete, right? And these two guys, speed wise, they are making up for what we were missing for the first 6 to 7 games of the season. So I think strategically, Matt Eberflus has done a great job the last 2 weeks putting right. Logan Wilson played a lot against the Raiders, but the Raiders don't have Saquon Barkley and they don't have Jalen Hurts. So you can put Logan Wilson. So it's a matchup thing for me. Now let's look at this passing game for Philadelphia. As we mentioned, Jalen Hurts had a pretty good game, and we saw AJ Brown. in that
Mm-hmm.
first half. I
Mm-hmm.
said, here we go. Here's the breakout game for A.J. Brown, right? All
Right.
we've heard for the whole season is A.J. Brown unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And man, 8 for 110 with a touchdown, followed by Devontae Smith for 6 for 89.
Mm-hmm.
And Saquon Barkley has 7 for 52. We shut down Dallas Goddard. Thank you, Jesus, because I thought he was going to be somebody that was going to be there to hurt us. But 2 for 20. But G, the DBs recovered in the second
Mm-hmm.
half, did a
Mm-hmm.
lot better job. But
Mm-hmm.
talk to me about the relationship between the DBs and the defensive line, and how does
That
that work?
that's where it is your defensive line makes your back four, your back six look a lot better. And so in the beginning, we weren't getting any pressure. I don't know what was going on. A lot of stunts that wasn't working. We weren't getting the pressure that we needed to get. In that second quarter, middle second quarter, second half, that pressure started to get to him. What I told y'all, number 74, barbecue chicken, he started getting it. He started getting it. 56, you started to see Quentin Williams and Osa Odigizua push them into the lap of Jalen Hurts. That's when the passing started getting in trouble, and that's when we started being on their hip. We started deflecting passes and things. So that front has to help out our backside, man, and that's what happened. We ended up losing Kalen Carson. I'm not sure how bad it is. So he didn't look happy when he walked off the field. Man, he threw his helmet down. He sat there for a while, so it looked like it could be something that could be maybe major. I'm praying it's not, but Diggs is going to be
Shame,
needed.
shame for that. Shame for that
Yeah,
young
shame for
man
that.
who
Yeah, he was
who
playing
just
well.
battled to come back, man. And this
Yes.
is his third game back. And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like we mentioned last week, he's played every single snap in the Raiders game, man. And that's
Mm-hmm.
that's something that just went unnoticed, right? He played
Right.
every snap. He played a lot of snaps the week before against Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that it's unnoticed, man. But G, the 5-man front
Mm-hmm.
is causing problems for opposing offensive lines to the
Mm-hmm.
point where you had Cam Jurgens from the Eagles, their all
Mm-hmm.
pro center. He said yesterday the 5-man front that Dallas threw at us was a problem. They
Mm-hmm.
were able to impact what we had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be hard for teams the rest of the way. And I looked at the injury report, and Trey Smith is out for the Kansas City Chiefs. But we're gonna talk about that tomorrow,
Ooh.
folks.
Ooh.
But Trey
Mm.
Smith is out. But being able to line up Kenny Clark, Osa, Quinnen, Donovan, Jadavion, Dante, and Sam,
Sam.
dude, it across the board, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and to have those two linebackers that either fast or thumpers behind them,
Mm-hmm.
with three cover guys behind you and another thumper and Donald back there,
Yeah.
that's encouraging going forward, G.
This is what we wanted, man. This is all we asked is just can you hold somebody down to 21 points? Can you hold somebody down to 20 points? And you give the Cowboys, this is a whole different team when we have that defense that can do that, and
Is
that's
the
exactly
defense
what's
middle of the
happening.
pack now, G?
The-
Is it
the-
middle of the pack?
it- it's it's just about there, bro. I know we was 29th or 30th. We got to be moving down that chart now, though. We got to be around 25, 24. So give us a couple more games, man. We'll probably get down there to about if we can get to 18. Whoo,
Hey,
yeah,
G,
but
I had a friend of mine call me this morning. He ain't a Cowboy fan, man, but
mhm.
he's like, "Yo, y'all gonna be a problem in the playoffs." I said, "Whoa, wait a minute, because you're gonna be the same person that called me in 3 weeks talking about same old Cowboys, right?" And
Right,
that's the
right,
problem, and that's why I don't get into that, right? I say 1 week at a time.
right,
But when we
right.
got people that's not Cowboys fans, they're like, "Yo, y'all got it now." No, 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 no.
I don't
Keep the
need that.
same
I don't need.
energy.
Yeah,
I don't want y'all over here now, right? Because
yeah.
we understand the NFL is a week to week thing.
There you go.
Because man, listen, and we've been saying it all year. If the defense can get to middle of the pack,
Mm-hmm.
You'll see because the offense has always been playing to
Right.
a level of top five, top 10 in the league, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
But now the defense literally shut the Eagles out for 2.5 quarters, folks. Two and a
Mm-hmm.
half quarters of shutout football is hard to do,
Let that sink
especially
in,
with that
man.
offense.
Yeah, let that sink in. 20.
Especially with that offense. You got
Yeah.
guys, man. Listen,
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae, Saquon Barkley. That offensive line is still pretty good.
You got all
Man,
pros
you
over
were able
there.
to shut them
You
down.
you got all pros. You got all pros on that side of the ball, and you shut them down like you said for 2.5 quarters. The Cowboys defense, who was atrocious, they were compared to the Cincinnati Bengals defense, and yeah, man, that's huge, dog. And
G.
I want to give a big shout out to Sam Williams before we move on to
Yeah, yeah,
George
yep,
Pickens
yep, yep,
and
yep.
and
You
CeeDee
already
Lamb.
know. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, yeah. So big shout out to Sam,
Shout out
man.
Sam Williams. Shout out
Yeah,
Sam
shout out
Williams.
Sam Williams. He's not getting enough love, man. They beat him up when he used to get blocked by a wide receiver. These
I
last couple
did.
games, man. Yeah, he's
But
been
Sam,
showing his
listen,
butt.
and it's a bunch of guys that have just they're getting better. They're getting better over the last 2 weeks, and that's what we want to
Hmm.
see, right? The Cowboys don't have
Hmm.
another bye. And listen, just keep getting better, guys on the defensive side. But folks,
Absolutely.
folks, 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 folks. Dak Prescott, ladies and gentlemen. Dak Prescott, Dakota Rain Prescott,
That's
23
my
for
quarterback.
36,
That's my
23
quarterback.
for 36, 354 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception. Ladies and gentlemen, Dak Prescott, your quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. You had George Pickens, nine for 146. But
The-
folks, it's just not nine. It's
the- s-
nine
s-
for nine.
Come on now. Come on now.
949 for 146 and a tutty, followed by CeeDee Lamb, who, with his drops, still went for 4 for 175. Folks, 4 for 175, right?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No,
One
no, no. CD?
CD went for 4 for 170. I mean, sorry, 4 for 75.
Okay,
G.
okay, okay.
No,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
no, listen, listen,
Okay.
listen,
Yeah, four
listen.
for
What
75. It's still great. No, it's still great.
AG,
Yeah.
they both combined for 13 receptions, 210 plus yards, man, with a touchdown. And then you had Jake Ferguson and G, the reception that Jake Ferguson had on the sideline where he stiff armed what's my Zach Bond,
Bond.
and then he just kept going, right?
Oh,
And,
got to the
and,
one
and
yard line.
G, his criticism is that he can't break tackles and he ain't got no
Mm-hmm.
moves, G.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
folks, listen, you had Javonte Williams, another 20 carries for a very well earned 87 yards, folks. And then Dak, Superman Dak, scored a touchdown himself with
That's my
his
quarterback.
legs. With his
That's my
legs.
quarterback.
G, what did you see from this offense yesterday?
Resiliency. Resiliency, man. We did not look good in the first quarter. We shot ourselves in the foot, fumble after fumble after fumble, and they just looked at each other and said, "Man, we better than this." Penalties after penalties after penalties, and we looked at ourselves and said, "No, this ain't us. This ain't us."
Mm.
Um, Turpin, as he fumbles the ball, but then what does he do on the next drive? He comes back with a
45-yard plus.
44. That's I mean, it's those things that makes our team so resilient. But it starts with, like you said, man, QB1. QB
QB1.
one is the catalyst to all of
He's
this.
the leader,
He is
bro.
the
He's a
one.
leader.
He's the
Such
leader,
a
man.
leader, bro.
He and Quentin Williams said it, man. He's never been around a better leader than Dak Prescott, and
Wow.
that's just who Dak is as a person, man. And he's not gonna let anybody get down. If
Wow.
you mess up, guess what? He's gonna come back at you.
Yeah.
Even CD, who had a 4 for 75, but a ton of drops again against this Eagles team. He
Talk about
told
it.
him,
Talk
man.
about
Look,
it. Talk about it. Because I
he,
know
he
this is
he
on your
told him,
chest.
man.
Go ahead. Talk about it.
you come to me. I'm gonna go back to you. I'm gonna keep going to you because I know who you are as a player. CD is in his head though. CD is in his head, man, and you know CD's in his head when he starts telling Dak where to throw the ball at. When he drops a ball in the end zone. The this is not CD, man. It's not who CD is as a player. We know what CD can be as a player, and I see people out here on social media saying like we don't need CD anymore.
Craziness, man.
It's crazy talk, man. We have a great thing going on right here. CD and George Pickens, you have to pick your poison, and you have to go watch the film and see exactly what they are doing to CD, because there's a reason why George Pickens is 1-on-1. There's a
G,
reason
post,
why.
post, post Amari Cooper, G. Post Amari Cooper. Dallas Cowboys Nation has been asking for another quality wide receiver for 3 years now. We
Right.
finally get another one. And I mentioned yesterday, this is our problem. That we don't know what to do when we get a shiny new toy. You get a toy and you play with it so much, and it's your favorite toy until they put something else new in front of you, and then all of a sudden that becomes that you forget about what you had good for the last 3 years.
5 years, yeah, yeah.
Let me drop some numbers on folks about CeeDee Lamb. Rookie year, 935 yards. Sophomore season, 1,100 yards. Third year, 1,359 yards. Fourth year in the league,
17.
1,749 yards. Last year, despite being injured himself, CeeDee Lamb, minus Dak Prescott for the majority of the season, 1,194, and that's without a number two receiver, folks. CeeDee Lamb, I don't know if you're going to watch this, but believe in yourself, young man. Block out the noise. You have skills that only a few you guys carry. Whatever's in your DNA, that was implanted in you by God. We know the caliber player that you are. Trust and have confidence in yourself. Get back to practice and work with Dak. Follow what Michael Irvin, what he said a million times. If me and Troy weren't on the same page, we stayed after practice and we worked. I would tell Troy, I need 50 passes after practice. Get after it, CD. Cowboys Nation, in order to get where we want to go, you're going to
You're gonna
need
need
CeeDee
seed.
Lamb. You're going to need George Pickens. So cut it out with the we can trade CeeDee for 2 first-round picks and Georgia's number one, and cut it out, because
Cut
the
it out.
minute that there's even an inclination that one of these two guys is leaving, right, or that they want to leave, we're going to be crying again for another wide receiver because you just let one out the door.
Yeah, yeah. This is the dynamic duo. Don't mess the duo up, man. There is no need to mess the duo up. CD, you just gotta get back in the lab, dog. But like G said, man, believe in yourself, bro. Believe in yourself, man. You know who you are. You are that dog, man. Don't let the outside noise, and stay off of social media. Like if that social media is clouding you in any way, if it's becoming a distraction, stay off of it, bro. Like stay off of it, man, because you're gonna see so much negativity on there. It can get to you mentally, man. So be a dog, but be accountable too. Be accountable. I did not appreciate you kind of blaming Dak for that touchdown and went right in your stomach. Like
Man, all
don't.
that, you just hold on. You over here telling him to believe in himself, and then you gonna say, "Hold on, man."
Yeah, I need to
Listen,
be accountable. I just need to be accountable. That's a maturity. When things ain't going right, man, you gotta hold yourself accountable. So
another player, G, that I feel like is pressing and wants to make a big play. We mentioned him last week, man. Cavante Turpin. Hey, Cavante, listen. You have a skill that is God given, and that's your speed, Cavante. Not a lot of people can run with you, Cavante. Listen, settle yourself down, and you're gonna hit for that home run play when we need it. Okay, but we don't want you pressing to make the big play because everybody's watching. We trust in your ability, and that's why Coach Schottenheimer, he trusts you. That's why Dak trusts you. They want to
Mm-hmm.
give you the run play. They want to throw you the ball, right? But
Mm-hmm.
above the shoulders, until you figure that out, you're gonna have the blunders that you're having. But we believe in you still, Cavante. Um, hey G, before we wrap it up, there was a play yesterday that I mentioned earlier that I wanted to
Yeah,
talk about.
I want to hear this.
That if the Dallas Cowboys somehow make the postseason, somehow, right? It's possible,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very confident that they can beat all of the teams that are left on their schedule if they play their best football for the next 6 weeks, right?
Right, right,
There's not a team that Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota. There's not a team that I don't think that they can't beat.
right,
But G, there was a play yesterday that when you think of effort, when you think of what you coach, if you've ever coached and you ask guys, keep going, right?
right.
Don't let your teammates down. We kicked the ball off, G. Um, and Elijah Clark, a rookie safety from Syracuse University, he gets pancaked not one time, but two times by the return team.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets up and continues to run full speed downfield.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the first person to make contact with Xavier Gibson, the returner.
Mm-hmm.
And that is immediately followed by a booming hit by Marquise Bell, jarring the football loose, where Trent Seed, I'm sorry, a punt, where Trent Seed recovers.
Mm-hmm.
And G, I've watched a lot of football. I've watched a lot of film. I've coached a lot of football. I haven't seen many players give effort the way that Elijah Clark gave effort on that single play, because that play, he kept us in the game. The Cowboys should have taken the three, but
Mm-hmm.
he gave us an opportunity with his effort. G,
Mm-hmm.
many guys just they roll themselves out of the play. Man, I got knocked down. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I'm washed up. They allowed. He continued. G.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I didn't know what play you was going to, but you are 100% right on that, man. That is a season changing play. The effort that is textbook is what you that's film that you take and you show to everybody. If you're in Pee Wee, if you're in middle school, high school, you take this is coaching tape right here,
The
and
NFL.
the NFL. I mean this is coaching tape to at its highest because the effort that he gave was nonstop. And like G said, man, he got knocked down, got back up, knocked down again, got back up, then got pushed in the back, kept running, never gave up, man, and was the key reason why that ball popped out. And so, man, just a huge play, head helmet right on the ball. It shows who he is as a player. And now I believe Elijah Clark is he. I want to say he's undrafted.
Undrafted
I want to say
rookie.
undrafted. Yeah, rookie, undrafted rookie, man, who showed out in preseason, got cut, got brought back, and so the man is hungry. That's we have a bunch of hungry players now.
He looking for
We're
snaps.
looking for snaps, man. Just I'm looking for anything you give me, coach. Whatever you give me, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you my all. And that's that. I agree with you 100%, G, man. If the Cowboys make it, this is because that we could have went down another hole, man. Because like you said, we had to punt to them after. Because I believe we caused them to fumble to get the ball back before that, and we
Saquon.
didn't. Okay, Saquon, and we didn't do anything with it. Ended
Yep.
up having to punt and then got it right back, man. So yeah, huge play in the Cowboys season by a Cowboys player in Elijah Clark, man. Big shout out. I know Shotty said he's gonna give him a game ball because of that play.
And I tell you what, G, the effort that they gave yesterday, all the way around, all the
Hmm.
players, everybody, coaching staff as well, maintaining the focus again, believing in themselves, right,
Hmm.
and not hanging it up. Kudos to you guys. Okay, I hope that the Cowboys go on a run tomorrow. We're gonna dig into the schedule. We're gonna look at Thursday. We're gonna give you guys our scouting and our predictions as well, considering it's a short week. But
Hmm.
man, We beat the Eagles, baby. Hey, G,
Yeah.
what you said to them yesterday, G?
I don't know. I said a lot.
You said a lot, but listen, if y'all follow G, if y'all don't follow G, go on G's Twitter. And this is an epic video that I
Oh,
reposted myself.
okay.
G was not letting his friends off of the hook.
No. Big
Okay.
time players make big time plays and big time games, baby.
Hey, man, beautiful people. This is G from Jersey N
This is your boy G from the ATL.
with the Nothing But a G Thing podcast. We hope you enjoyed. Give us a like, give us a follow, and let us know in the comments, right?
That's right.
Exactly how we can get better. All right, folks? We'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.